Gentlemen and I say that with the weight it deserves, there's something you must learn to notice. And it's something society has not taught you well. It's the look. That look. When a woman looks at you in a certain way, it's not arbitrary. It's not casual. And it's certainly not meaningless. Because, see, we are biologically and psychologically wired to perceive subtle cues. You might think a look is just a look, but it's not. It's often a deeply symbolic act, sometimes even unconscious signaling that something meaningful is occurring. And if you ignore it, you do so at your peril. Now, let me explain this through three fundamental lenses: evolution, responsibility, and archetypal, meaning you're not just a man walking through the world. You're a biological signal, a story unfolding in flesh and behavior. You are being read long before you open your mouth. A woman doesn't need to hear your voice to make the first decision. Her nervous system is ancient, far older than your thoughts. It registers things you don't know you're communicating. That look she gives you, it's the result of 1,000,000 years of selection pressure. You're not being seen through the eyes of 2025. You're being seen through the lens of survival. She's measuring safety. She's measuring strength. She's measuring stability. She's not thinking about it. She is it. And you're either coherent in that moment or you're noise. A man who slouches, who avoids eye contact, who seems unsure her biology rejects that before her mind has time to form words. Because the gaze isn't social, it's primal. A look can be a warning, an invitation, or a test, and you must know which. You think it's just flirting. It's not. It's instinctual data exchange. Your posture is your resume. Your eye contact is your intent on full display. Your facial expressions are telling her if you're a predator or a protector. Your silence speaks volumes louder than your words ever could. She doesn't need a conversation to decide if she wants more. Women evolved to be the gatekeepers of reproduction. That is not a metaphor. That's biology. And gatekeepers don't just open the door, they guard it with everything they are. That's why she's cautious. That's why she watches. And when she looks at you, not just looks, but locks in, she's doing far more than acknowledging your existence. She's feeling your potential. Can you lead? Can you handle tension? Can you stay composed in uncertainty? Can you be trusted in the chaos of life? That's what her gaze is asking before she ever decides if she likes you. Because liking you is not the first threshold. Trusting your fitness is. Fitness isn't just about muscles. It's about coherence, presence, control under pressure. If she looks and you flinch, retreat, break eye contact nervously, you've already answered her question. And it's not the answer you wanted to give, but if you meet that gaze not aggressively, not desperately, but with grounded stillness, you're saying something without speaking. You're saying, I see the weight of this moment and I carry it without collapsing. That's not game, that's gravity. Women aren't looking for perfect men. They're looking for signal over noise, clarity and chaos, structure and instinct, safety and strength. A glance can reveal the whole architecture of a man's psyche. Does he own his space or shrink in it? Does he react to being watched or respond with calm? Your breath, your blink rate, your body tension, all of it is being evaluated at lightning speed because her biology doesn't care about your excuses. It cares about survival. And her offspring will live or die based on her ability to choose well. So she evolved the ability to perceive you fully before you even get close. And when she looks at you in that way, it's not always an invitation, it's often a challenge. She's asking, are you awake? Are you aware? Are you in control? And if you ignore that look, you're not being humble, you're being blind. The worst thing a man can be in that moment is oblivious, because that gaze isn't random, it's feedback. It's the universe telling you right now you're being measured. Rise or shrink. This isn't about ego, it's about alignment. Women are biologically attuned to the alignment of a man's internal and external reality. If you say one thing but your body says another, she knows instantly. If you pretend to be confident but your energy leaks insecurity, she sees it. There's no hiding, not from instinct. And that's why you must develop, not pretend. Because your nervous system also evolved to communicate what you are before you speak. You can't mask that with lines or tactics. You must become the man whose mere presence sends the right signal. Then the gaze changes. It shifts from scanning to admiring, from testing to trusting. But that shift is earned, not given, because her gaze is evolutionary filtration. She's not looking for your bank account. She's scanning your essence. She wants to know, will you crumble under responsibility? Will you flee under pressure? Will you lie to preserve your comfort? Or will you stay truthful under fire? Her look isn't about attraction, it's about evaluation. And that moment might last only seconds, but it can change your entire trajectory. If you don't learn to read the look, you'll miss the message. And if you miss the message, you miss the opportunity. Because there's something sacred about being seen by the feminine. It's not casual. It's not disposable. It's a mirror reflecting who you really are. And if you're not ready for that truth, you'll turn away. Most men don't fear rejection, they fear revelation. Because to be looked at like that is to be revealed. It's raw. It's piercing. It demands that you either step into your potential or recoil from it. And that's why it matters. That's why you never ignore when a woman looks at you like that. Because in that look, centuries of human selection are staring right at you waiting for your answer. And if you don't answer it with awareness, someone else will. Someone who knows that her look isn't a question, it's a door. And only the man who is awake can walk through it. When a woman gives you her attention, that moment is not casual, it is sacred. You are not owed that attention. And if you believe you are, you've already failed the test. You don't receive that look because of luck, you receive it because for a moment you showed the shadow of potential. And potential isn't enough. It must be cultivated, refined, disciplined, brought under command. She's not giving you admiration, she's giving you a question dressed in silence. She's not impressed, she's curious, and curiosity is a razor's edge. How you handle attention reveals how you handle power because attention is a form of power. And power without structure is chaos. Power without responsibility is corruption. When a woman looks at you like that, she's watching to see if you fall in love with the attention or rise to the weight of it. Most men are starved for validation, so when it comes, they devour it like animals. But real men awake, men treat attention as a signal to sharpen themselves, because it's not just about her eyes, it's about what those eyes represent. They represent the collective feminine watching you, assessing if you are man or mask. The look she gives you isn't asking for charm, it's asking for coherence. Can you stay rooted when the world turns its gaze upon you? Or do you crumble into performance, saying what you think she wants to hear? When she gives you that look, she's not only seeing who you are, she's watching who you become in that very instant. Do you step forward with grounded confidence? Or do you inflate with ego and collapse under your own illusion? Attention from a woman is never empty. It is loaded with biological memory and emotional currency. She carries the ancestral weight of women who chose wrong and paid the price. Her attention is cautious because her lineage depended on it. When you are seen, truly seen, you are being offered a test. The test is silent. There are no instructions, but fail it, and you will feel the cold withdrawal that follows. Because attention without response is attention wasted, and nature doesn't waste energy. You must not treat her gaze as a trophy. You must treat it as a summons. It is not about winning her approval. It's about proving to yourself that you can hold space with dignity. When her eyes meet yours and time slows, you are no longer a boy, you are a contender. But contenders don't play, they train, they prepare, they refine themselves in private long before they are seen. So when that gaze lands on you, everything you've built in silence is now on trial in real time. There is no faking composure. Your body betrays you if your mind is weak. You might smile, but your shoulders tremble. You might speak, but your eyes dart like prey. She notices it all. She feels it before she thinks it. You are being observed on levels your conscious mind cannot track. So how you respond to her attention must be governed by principle, not performance. You must understand the weight of being seen, not as an opportunity to impress, but a responsibility to express who you are without distortion. Do not twist yourself to match her expectations. That is cowardice in disguise. She's not asking for perfection, she's watching for authenticity fused with direction. If you flinch under her eyes, she knows you will flinch under pressure. If you inflate under her eyes, she knows you will crumble under consequence. The look she gives you is an opportunity to demonstrate restraint, not excess. It's an arena of composure, not chaos. The strongest man is not the loudest, he is the most disciplined in the face of validation. Attention is a drug to the unprepared. It intoxicates and destroys if not handled with reverence. But to the grounded, attention is merely feedback. It neither inflates nor deflates, it informs. And that is what you must become, a man who uses attention as a mirror, not a mask. The man who needs to be seen is weak. The man who is prepared to be seen is strong. Because being seen will test every fracture in your foundation. When her eyes meet yours, she is checking for cracks. Not to punish you, but to protect herself. She has no time to waste on the unready. Life is too short, risk is too high. So when that moment comes when her attention is focused, quiet, intentional, you must breathe into it with calm power. You are not being chosen. You are being invited to reveal whether you are choice worthy. She does not want a king in name, she wants a man who has earned his crown in silence. That look is the world asking you, have you done the work? And if you have not, you will panic and pretend. And she will know. Because all pretense collapses under scrutiny. This is why so many men fear the feminine gaze that exposes what's undeveloped inside them. It does not harm, it reveals. It's not her judgment that stings, it's the echo of your own avoidance. You weren't ready to be seen because you've been hiding behind comfort and convenience. But a woman's attention is not given to comfort, it is given to courage. If you fold, you prove you are not yet ready to hold something sacred. You must build the capacity to remain still in the fire of perception. You must become the man who does not need the gaze, but does not flinch under it either. And only then, only when attention is received as responsibility, not reward, can you carry it with grace. Because to be truly seen is not a gift, it's a burden for those who are ready to bear it. When a woman looks at you like that, you're not just seeing her, you're standing at the edge of something mythic. You are face to face with a symbol far older than culture, deeper than language, and heavier than logic. That gaze is not modern, it's ancestral, forged in fire, blood. And story, she isn't just a person in that moment, she is the feminine made visible, chaos cloaked in beauty, the unknown wrapped in form. Her eyes are not only her own, they are the eyes of nature itself. Measuring your readiness to confront the sacred and survive the storm, you are not being flirted with, you are being summoned by the great mystery that lives in every myth, every ritual, every dream. The ancient stories all knew it. The woman is the path, the challenge, the treasure, the wild forest you must willingly enter if you wish to emerge transformed when she looks at you with that depth. It is not affection, it is the riddle of life itself asking if you are finally ready to grow up. You think it's about chemistry, about attraction, about compatibility, but that's only the surface of the archetype. She is the invitation to order the disorder inside you, not for her sake, but because the alternative is stagnation and spiritual rot. Her gaze is the dragon's fire that either forges or consumes you, depending on what you bring into the moment. In her sterilized the same force that broke empires and crowned kings, that tore men down and raised civilizations from ruin. That look is not simply her curiosity, it is the feminine testing your frame, your story, your soul. You cannot fake your way through the archetype because it doesn't respond to words. It responds to essence. It knows whether you are walking a path with meaning or spinning in circles of distraction. It senses whether your heart is open with courage or guarded by fear, dressed in charm. She is not trying to seduce you. She is the seduction of life itself, offering you the chance to step out of numbness and into fire. You must not look at her like she is just another woman. You must recognize that. In that instant, she carries the face of every feminine force you've run from. When a man avoids the gaze, he avoids responsibility, he avoids the call to elevate, to confront, to integrate. She does not need you to be perfect. She needs you to be honest, willing to face the storm and not run. The look is an offering wrapped in risk. You will not come out the same if you accept it. And that's the point. She is not chaos to be controlled. She is mystery to be danced with, honored, not solved, but held in tension. The feminine is not weakness. It is the ocean that drowns weak men and sharpens the strong. And that ocean speaks through her stare, asking one thing: are you still asleep? Or are you finally waking up? Because if you are truly awake, you will not objectify the gaze. You will understand its gravity. In that gaze lies the same myth that sent Odysseus across the sea, that broke Narcissus before his reflection, that tempted every man who longed for more. The feminine is not a puzzle, it is the mirror. The muse, the flame that scorches the unworthy and fuels the devoted. She is not looking for surface, she is searching for depth, for direction, for devotion to something beyond your ego. Her attention is not romance, it is the raw confrontation between what you are and what you could become. Only the man who chooses meaning over pleasure can stand in that fire without flinching, because she is not impressed by performance, she is moved by presence, anchored presence. Masculine structure that doesn't dominate but steadies the storm. Her eyes are not entertainment, they are initiation. And you are either brave enough to meet them or still hiding behind distraction. The boy in you wants approval, but the man in you recognizes the challenge and answers with silence, stillness, and strength. She is not offering you comfort, she is offering transformation. And transformation always begins with confrontation. Her gaze is the threshold you can remain who you've been or step into who you were always meant to be in that moment. You're not dealing with a person, you're dealing with the force behind the veil of life itself. She sees through your talk, your posture, your defense mechanisms, because the feminine has always been a seer of what lies beneath to truly meet. That gaze is to allow yourself to be undone, not to fall apart, but to be reshaped by something higher. That look demands your honesty, not your charm, your devotion, not your tactics. You are not there to win her, you are there to withstand her, to hold your ground while she burns away your illusions, and what remains, if anything, is the beginning of a real man if you flinch. You miss the door. If you pose, you miss the point. The feminine has no use for masks. She dissolves them with a glance. You don't impress the archetype. You either align with it or get swallowed by it, because she is not the goal. She is the guidepost on the road toward your highest self. Her gaze is not praise. It is not meant to crush the inessential out of you. Only when you meet that look with openness and purpose do you pass through the ancient test of the Yopers. Test is always the same. Will you choose truth or the performance of masculinity? She can feel the difference before you finish your first sentence. This is why her look unnerves you. It bypasses your mask and speaks to your core. It's not you she wants, it's your alignment with something greater than you. And if you are not aligned, she will not trust, she will not open, she will not stay, because the archetypal feminine does not settle for potential that refuses to evolve. She will mirror your depth, reflect your emptiness, and amplify whatever you carry inside. She is not here to save you. She is here to challenge you into becoming. Only the man willing to face the challenge without flattery or fear will ever understand the meaning of that look. Let me know if you'd like this version adapted for spoken word performance, cinematic narration, or transformed into a visual storytelling piece. S. Oh, the next time a woman looks at you like that, don't ignore it. Because it's not just a look. It's not just curiosity. It's not validation. It's not flirtation. It's the oldest language on earth speaking directly to the deepest part of you. It's nature asking you if you're ready. It's the feminine calling the masculine into order. It's a mirror, a trial, a challenge, a test. It's not about her, it's about you. Who are you in that moment? Do you flinch or do you rise? Do you seek comfort or do you take on responsibility? Do you perform for approval or do you anchor in truth? That gaze is sacred. It holds the potential to awaken your entire soul or expose your hollowness. And when you meet it not with ego, not with performance, but with presence, structure, and grounded strength, you don't just become attractive, you become worthy. You become dangerous in the right way. You become seen not just by her, but by something eternal. You stop chasing women and start embodying the man the world remembers. Because when a woman looks at you like that, she's not just seeing you. She's seeing what you could become if you'd only stopped running from the weight of your own potential. And the only real question that remains is this: will you carry it or collapse beneath it? Let me know if you'd like this conclusion turned into a cinematic voiceover script or want a full speech transcript combined in one piece.